In this video, we're going to do a quick refresher on the unit conversions that you saw in your lessons. So first off, we're going to start with the U.S. measurement system. We're looking at the unit fractions, and you can read through this on your own a little more too. There's just some notes in here to help you out. But as we can remember, anything over itself is 1. So even if it has different units, this is measurement. 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches. So since this equals this, it will equal 1 when we divide them out. You could also do the reciprocal. Depending on where you need those units to fall is where you'll put them. This is the one for weight over here. 1 pound over 16 ounces would equal 1. So this is just the same as writing like when you have 1/2 equals 2/4. Same kind of thing. You know, we're multiplying in order to get that 2/4. We're multiplying by 2 over 2, which is really equal to 1. So we haven't changed the problem. We're just changing how it's presented. Same thing when you reduce. So that's what we're doing here. We're taking 60 inches. That's our first problem right here. 60 inches to feet. So we take what we're given and put it over 1. And then what we want to get to, that needs to be up in the numerator. So we would have feet. And then the inches, we want to get rid of those. So we're going to put them in the denominator so that we can reduce it out. But we need to fill in our numbers too. So our equivalency is 1 foot, actually on this one, equals 12 inches. Then we just multiply across the tops and across the bottom, so we get 60 over 12, and that's going to be feet. Calculate that out. 60 divided by 12 leaves us with a 5, so our answer is 5 feet. Now, one thing I want to note is this is a very different process than the proportion method that you may have used before. So conversions can be done either by proportion, especially when we have map scaling and things like that, or by unit analysis or dimensional analysis. And that's what we're learning here today. So we're taking some simple things that you can, do in your head, but showing you a method. So when it gets more complex, you can track all the units. And so we're using the unit fraction method. So we're multiplying here instead of setting one fraction equal to another. We have a bunch of fractions in a row. So then go ahead and pause the video and try this problem. Convert 19 feet to inches. Then come back and check your answer. So the answer for that one is 228 inches. Now moving on, converting one customary US rate to another, we are going to look at when we have different units such as miles per hour or dollars per ounce. So our first problem is convert 40 miles per hour to feet per minute. So we need these two conversions here. A mile equals 5,280 feet and 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So you have a conversion chart in your module that you can look at or in your textbook. You could also look up a conversion chart online if you wanted to, but what you should not do is just pop the problem into a conversion calculator and come out with one answer. That's missing the whole process in between. So if you want to get credit for your work, you have to show out the steps in the same manner here using the unit analysis. So first we're going to take what we're given, the original, And then we're going to use our equivalency. Okay, so we have a couple of different things that are going to go on here. We have our length equivalency, and we also have our time equivalency, or unit fraction, we could say. So with the original, we were given 40 miles per 1 hour. And then for length, we're going to look at the miles and the feet. So we want to have miles down here. I usually write my units in first and then fill it in accordingly. So 5,280 feet over 1 mile. I mean, you don't need to separate it out like that. You could just write it all at once if you want. It's just the way I track it. Trying to do just one thing at a time. And then the time equivalency, we're going to look at the 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So we want to get rid of the hours here. So any numerator with any denominator, because we're multiplying, there's no division happening with these fractions. We might have to divide something to make a calculation at the end, but we can use the commutative property and associative property to kind of move things around here. So the feet, what we want to get to. So we want to make sure that is left there. So we want to have feet per minute, but we don't have the minutes down yet. So we're going to use this equivalency here and write minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in our numbers. So 1 hour, 60 minutes. And once we get that, we can go through and make sure what we don't want does in fact cross out. Like go through it and make sure you get them all. And then what we're left with are these values in the numerator and denominator. And we're going to go ahead and multiply across the top. So we would do 40 times 5,280. And that would be in feet. And then we have 1 times 60 minutes. And we want this per 1 minute. So we're going to just go ahead and divide out all this part right here. So how we would do that is just kind of crunch the number there, and we end up with 211,200 feet divided by 60, which gives us 3,520 feet per minute. That's our answer for that one. Here's 2 for you to try. Just pause the video and then I'll pop those in. Okay, so here's the answers that we're looking for. For 320 feet per minute, we're getting 3.6 miles per hour. And the other one is 29.3 feet per second. So notice how the numbers relate to one another. If you're having larger number but smaller types of units, when you kind of change that over, your number's going to decrease as your units go up. Next one is using a map scale. 1 centimeter equals 85 kilometers. So now this isn't saying that those are equivalent metric expressions. What it's saying is that on the map, 1 centimeter on the map equals 85 kilometers in real life. I mean, because we do know that 1 centimeter would not equal 85 kilometers. There's a big difference here. If it's not the metric conversion sliding conversion bar that we're doing here, we're just saying this is our scale factor. So if the distance between two cities measure 6.4 centimeters on the map, I'm going to say map centimeters, just so you track that. Then find the approximate distance on the ground in kilometers. Okay, so my scale is 85 ground kilometers, right, over the 1 map centimeter. Okay, so we don't really need the words in there for the map and stuff, but it's just helpful to track it. Then I know that these are the same units. I reduce them out, multiply across the top, and I get 544 kilometers. And that would be actual distance. Okay, so the next one, just pause the video and try that practice problem. It's set up just the same way. Then quick check your answer before you move on. Okay, so the answer is 238 kilometers for actual distance. The next thing you see here is the metric system. Here's just some notes that you can reference of what the prefixes mean. We did go over that in the lesson. So real quick, I'm going to go through the conversion bar just to refresh you on that. So we can remember King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk is how we can list them out. And then if we look here, for example, convert 2.56 centimeters to meters. So if I'm starting at centimeters and I want to go to meters, that's going to be 2 jumps to the left. So I would write it out 2.56 and then move 2 jumps left. And so then I could just fill in here 0.0256. Make sure you get rid of that other original decimal that needs to move over, and then just rewrite the number clearly. So that is meters. 0.0256 meters. On this one, underneath for another example is 6.25 kilograms that we start with, and we're gonna change to grams. So let's look here. We have kilograms way over here. We're gonna go right this time, and we had to do 3 jumps. So we're gonna do the same thing with our decimal, 1, 2, 3, right. And then we're gonna actually move that decimal over, fill in with a 0, and our answer will be 6,250. And that is grams. There's 2 practice problems to do to refresh on. Go ahead and pause the video and then check back for the answer. So the answers to those are 35 milliliters equals 0.035 liters, and 12 centimeters equals 120 millimeters. So I hope that gives you a good warm up to get into your activity application, which is a little more complex, but you do the same layout using that dimensional analysis. And there is one with metric that you could do in 2 parts and do the conversion bar if you would choose to do that. So that's it for today. Have a great day.